Veganism has always had an effect on my social life. I think that's an inevitable price we had to pay, and which people, especially young people, have to pay today. But if one is going to be out of step with all the catering that is done for people who are different from oneself, one must accept a certain amount of excommunication, as it were, from the rest of society. That is where I think the vegan contacts work is absolutely essential. Why vegans, especially those who live isolated from other vegans, must have some sort of contact with the rest of our movement, which is now of course an ever-growing world movement. I like to think the greatest movement that ever was, because it's the only one now that can save mankind. All the lesser movements for doing good work in themselves in a limited sphere are only to use the common cliche like the people rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, instead of helping us guide the searchlight on the iceberg, which is going to be the end of the whole show. And when I think that the world population, which was at about 2 billion in 1944, is more than 6 billion people, in spite of all the losses in war, disease, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tidal waves, all the things that wipe out people by the tens of thousands, it has still become this astronomical explosion of over 6 billion, along with, I would say, a corresponding explosion of animals to feed most of them. And those animals are there, fed on food that should be growing for the third world, where people are having big families because they have to. They have no social security, they have to have many children because many of them in every family are likely to die, and that, I think, may be the reason for this explosion. Well, we know that throughout history, nature rebels against any species that becomes too numerous, usually by food shortage or by disease, both of which are now rampaging ahead in the human community without, I won't say without a thought, but without anyone except the vegans having a possible solution to this crisis.